Well, hello and a very warm welcome back to the TNC podcast. Finally, we've reached an international break, so not a whole lot to talk about. Rest and relaxation on the horizon. We can put our feet up and chill. Or not. Liam Manning is gone.
Yes.
Jack Reeve, Chris Reeve back for another TNC podcast. Caught your breath yet?
It's all happening, isn't it, Jack?
Wow.
And good. I'm pleased. It's what so many Norwich City fans, including us, let's be honest, wanted. We knew that the writing was on the wall for weeks with Manning. The club could have done it 3 weeks ago, maybe even before that, and they just piddled around really and just wasted time. So thankfully they've made the right decision now. As we said in our instant Liam Manning reaction, Jack, on a personal level, of course, you never want anyone to lose their job, but it was a completely failed project from start to finish, and I'm really pleased that we can move on now.
Could end the podcast there.
Cheers, everyone.
It's been a strange few days, weeks, months since Liam Manning arrived. I thought, now that the dust has settled a touch on Saturday, it was a strange day, wasn't it? Because I wasn't expecting the atmosphere to be as united and as supportive as it was, and Norwich took the lead. And
united for many reasons, wasn't just
for many reasons.
Yeah.
But during that game, there was uniform support.
Yeah.
Really, probably the loudest Caro has been this season.
Yeah.
We took the lead. We held on to the lead for 12 minutes. And obviously we know what happened from that point. But for that 12 minutes, there was a...
How far have your standards slipped?
For that 12 minutes, things were
That
bright.
12 minutes.
Stick a star on the shirt for that. But what I mean was...
No, I get what you mean.
And then it
but
was...
how bad were Leicester, by the way?
But the point in when I was like, no, this is done, was it McCarmer coming off of McConville? It was like we're in control of the game. Leicester fans are wanting their manager out and the board out. We're joining in. We are completely dominating them. And we take off a striker for a defender. I'm like, what's the fucking point?
How many times have you done that?
What's the point?
I think that was an absolute kamikaze tactical decision. And it was, of course, all on hit. That loss was completely Manning. Yeah. Because we were in the ascendancy, or at least we were comfortable to, on our 1-0 win, which is a massive rarity with Norwich City, isn't it? And that substitution, you just knew then. I mean, to be fair, Jack, I rocked up to the ground with not an ounce of hope, zero.
Yeah.
And so when we scored, the euphoria was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it to anyone, actually.
Watching a goal that matters.
Yeah, it was really nice. Just quickly, by the way, on the goal, Matthias Chris Gorham. What a finish.
He does look like, there's been a lot of very poor Ben Napper signings, but he looks like a good one.
Yeah,
he looks a level above.
You can tell why, he's got the reputation he has. His finishing abilities is brilliant. Yeah. He's great with both feet. He's great in tight spaces, and can pull the trigger from distance now as well, clearly. So, yeah, really, really excited by him. Although I'm sure he's going to be disappointed because I noticed in his post-match from the game before, he came out with something along the lines of, I really like playing with Josh Sargent. I thought... the January window's coming.
Well, I think from the type, for Chris Gorham, if Sargent leaves, it offers opportunity, because I think most people expected him to be the sole number 9 when we signed him.
Of course. But just really want to hammer home on the point that we've said all season, Jack, about the fact that we have been as bad as we have been is made even worse by the fact that almost all of the opposition that have come to Carrow Road have been so bang average.
Well, I think it was
so bang average.
I think it was Dan Brigham that tweeted out the other day. All of the teams we've lost against have been on such poor runs going into it. I mean, Derby, they hadn't won at home all season. Since they beat us, they've won 5 in a row. Yeah. I was speaking to a really lovely Leicester fan in the pub pre-match, and he was saying, you guys beat us today. We're in absolute disarray. We can't win. We conceded last minute against Middlesbrough in the week. We're on the floor.
It doesn't matter.
I said, no, you don't understand. And actually, for a moment, when we took the lead, I thought, bloody hell, he was right. And then quickly I realised that no.
It's the same old script, mate.
But the Sheffield Wednesday fans were the same.
Yeah.
Going, do you realise how bad we are? It's like, no. Do you realise how bad we are?
Yeah, absolutely, matey.
So we lost, obviously. We said we...
And what is there to say? Because the thing is, we could dissect that game, Jack, but actually, honestly, what's the point?
Exactly.
Because it was a carbon copy performance of what we've seen time after time after time after time.
And this is
it's more about what's around it that's important to talk about.
Exactly that, Chris. And, I've been really humbled by everyone who's come up to both myself and you at the games, and I had a lovely chat with lots of people pre-match. I was kind of wandering around the city having a few pints, and they keep coming up to me and going, how are you feeling during this period? And I'm like, I don't want to be on TNC
clinically depressed
talking about board structures and accountability at executive level, right? And accounts. I want to be talking about the brilliance of Josh Sargent or Flavian Kovacic.
Yes.
And all we have been boiled down to now is talking about fucking
numbers.
If Zoe Webber's being held to account. It's boring.
Yes.
I don't want to be talking about that. I want to be talking about
the football.
Good football.
Yeah.
But it's beyond the football now.
It is beyond the football.
And we have to, it's our responsibility, it's everyone's responsibility to hold these people to account.
So how are you feeling now the dust has settled on the Liam Manning decision, Jack? I'm really intrigued because we obviously went live as soon as we could after I'd scoffed my fish and chips down. By the way, what's your fish and chip order, please, quickly?
Fish and chip, haddock chips, mushy peas, battered sausage chaser.
Haddock?
Yeah.
And a what, sorry?
Battered sausage chaser. So like just sort of...
So you're going fish and sausage?
Only a small one.
A small sausage?
Large haddock, chips, mushy peas, white bread and butter.
White bread and butter?
And then just a small battered sausage.
Mate, that is a feed up.
Yeah, from brilliant fish and chips in Caister.
Wow, okay, anyway.
And then feel, like you've been put in a coma after it.
Cod, mushy peas and chips.
Yeah, you're very sort of standard. Yeah. Straight back. Always delivers though.
Don't mess around. No. Yeah.
So yeah, you Manning...
Like a prime Leroy Lita always delivers.
By the way, you obviously didn't order enough. You ate about 4 chocolate bars on that emergency podcast.
I had to.
Crunchies, Fantas.
I needed it. I really... Saturday night was my binge night, mate. Anyway, right, can we talk about football? What was your question? Oh, no, sorry. Liam Manning. How are you feeling about Liam Manning?
Oh, I mean...
That tenure. Because there was not a single good moment, was there?
And that's the thing, there wasn't a moment. Like, on the Johannes we had moments, on the David Wagner we had moments.
Was there a moment? Can we actually think?
No. Watford away, maybe? In the Cup? First round? Like, no, there wasn't.
No,
there wasn't a single moment that kind of...
Let's look.
The other thing as well, not only was there not a moment, there wasn't a moment of unpredictability.
There were shit moments.
There wasn't a moment of like, I wasn't expecting that. It was all boring, predictable behaviours.
What about a Big Mac's consolation goal against Wrexham? Does that count as a moment?
I mean, look, how do I feel about Liam Manning? It was a disaster. There is no other way of putting it. He leaves with the worst win ratio of any Norwich City manager in history. He didn't pick up a single point at Carrow Road. Mental, genuinely mental. I know Darren Huckabee tweeted it. Like, that's almost impressive that you haven't just found the way to get a point at some stage. Lost the East Anglia derby first time in 16 years. I think my overarching sense now is sadness. I really, really wanted it to work for Liam. I like him. He is a good coach, and I know we haven't seen it here, but like, you don't become a bad coach overnight. It isn't solely his fault, and as I alluded to, and I suspect we will speak more about on this podcast, like, this is a quarter of the change, and like, we need to see more. But it's good that we've made a start. I think we will get better from this point. Like, we can't get any worse, and I think Manning was at fault for probably more than people have given credit or discredit for. The coaching was abhorrent at times.
So to hang on then, so let's challenge part of what you said there, because you started that ramble with Liam Manning's a good coach.
Yeah, well,
we
didn't see that here. I mean, like,
I think we have to be real, Jack, and I was on that side of the fence, but I think now I'm looking at it, and we've spoken about like that kamikaze substitution. bringing off Big Mac, bringing on defenders, 5 at the back, dartboard selections. It's crazy. I like Liam as a person. I'm not convinced you can say with your chest now, oh, he's a good coach. He's not. It doesn't make him a bad coach. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but I don't think you can sit here and say he's a good coach.
Yeah, that's fair. And look, it will be interesting to see where he goes.
Look at the evidence.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. And with Johannes, yes, it didn't necessarily work. I think there were a lot of people frustrated at the prematurity of his sacking, but you could see a philosophy and a style and a build up. I still, and he's not even our manager now. I still couldn't tell you what Manning was trying to do. He went from a 5 to a 3 at the back. He was. I actually think we're lucky to be on as many points as we are because of Vladan Kovacevic.
Correct.
Which is desperate.
Yes.
He's completely isolated Josh Sargent. He's made arguably one of the best centre-backs in the league in Harry Darling, a complete shell of himself. And that is also the concern because you've now got players who had really decent stock. We're going into a January transfer window where Josh Sargent will want to be leaving.
Of course.
He's not scored in 11 games.
Yeah, that might help. The fact that he's not scored in 11 games.
But I mean, in terms of market value.
Oh, of course.
It's just absolutely through the floor.
And this was what I was going to bring up.
My overarching feeling is one of relief because it's done, it's over. Yeah. And actually, I suspect for Liam Manning, it's one of relief.
We know he'll be feeling relief as well.
But it's like, I still think back to when I was stood outside and I was obviously with you for the protests. And I was just looking around going, and I know, I think we all kind of know how it's happened, but still, I'm like, how is this the situation?
Well, we are going to go on to that, Jack, but I was just going to say on the Liam Manning point as well, and you started to talk about that too, it's what we are now going to learn over the next month is just how much damage has been caused by his tenure. Because as you said, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm also definitely not saying he's a good coach. But you look at some of the players in the squad. I mean, Harry Darling's one I look at now and I think, whoa. Because he came in and I was sitting on this podcast and, of course, I like to get carried away. I'm an emotion. I'm a fanatical by nature. But I still stand by it. The way he started the season, he looked like the second coming of Craig Fleming. It sounds silly me saying it now, but I genuinely felt his performance has warranted that name at the start of the season. They did. But the drop off a cliff, that's one. Even Vladan. I'm looking at Vladan. I don't think Vladan has dropped in his performance levels, but in terms of his demeanour, I'm looking at Vladan on the pitch.
I agree.
And I've got family sitting in the River End. Big up the River End.
They're still there, or have they been kicked out?
You're not moving anymore. You're not moving. I love it. No, good on you. And they've been telling me Vladan looks broken in terms of his demeanour.
Because he's a proper heart on the sleeve,
He's so frustrated. As you say, Sargent not scored in...
I think it's 10 or 11.
Right?
Yeah.
But you cannot now say he is the best striker in the league. No. You can't say that anymore. No. It's not accurate. And that's because of this tenure. So there's many players that have been damaged. Jacob Wright.
Yeah.
Not kicked the ball since he was sent off. I know he shouldn't have been sent off. I know it was a rash challenge, but the management of him seems odd. The midfielders, that you could go on and on. So it'll be really, it's going to be enlightening to learn just how far off this squad are now, even with a new head coach.
I think for me, and the reason I've got hope that we will see a bounce and pretty immediately, whoever the next head coach will be, and we'll get on to looking at that shortlist. When Norwich, and it's been in very small spells, but when they knock the ball about, it's evident that there's quality in there. It's evident you've got Kvistgaard and Sargent, the list goes on. But the consistency in not being able to deal with adversity, I think that can be changed. And I think that can be changed pretty quick. It was remarkable. We go 1-0 up. Carrow Road is bouncing. And from that point on, we fell off a cliff. We didn't know how to deal with it. We don't know how to deal with going behind, and we don't know how to deal with going ahead. Well, you've got huge issues there.
Yeah, I know.
And actually, how we dealt with it, well, we didn't deal with it, was let's take off an attacker, let's bring on a defender and try and shore it up. Well, that's never going to work, right? That is never going to work. So it was the it was the remarkable thing with Manning's tenure was you could see what was coming before it happened, and it was never a good thing that was on the horizon, right? And you know, we sat here 2 weeks ago when we had Hull, Sheffield Wednesday, and you know the final straw, which was Leicester for Liam Manning, and we said loss. Well, we did get a point against Sheffield Wednesday, but it was the fact that we were going into those games at Carrow Road going, we are losing, and we could say that with our chest, and they did happen.
Yes,
that was, and we were in a situation where we need more change, and we will get onto that. But the absolute primary focus now is survival.
Yes,
and I
correct.
can confidently say that we were not surviving under Liam Manning.
No.
It was done. No. So that had to change.
Yes.
That had to change.
So speaking of adversity, and you've brought it up there, Jack, let's move on to the fan fury in the stands, because obviously you and I were there at the weekend, and we looked, you looked back and we gave each other a oof a couple of times, because you could really feel the venom amongst the fan base towards Ben Napper. Yeah. Mostly. Yeah. Liam Manning maybe in second place. But then also there were chances of sack the board and things like that as well. We've not had that we haven't had that full stop. Because even when people were chanting Delia out back in the day, it wasn't large swaths of people. It was, a few clusters of supporters.
Yeah. Well, I've certainly not. What the sort of worthy out protests I wasn't a part of because I was sort of 6 or something, but I remember them. And then I guess you've got the chase.
But that's just
out.
one man. This is and that's just the manager. The thing I want to say to you, Jack, is like, do you think there's too much? Paddy Davitt's kind of coined it perfectly on their reaction video. Do you think he thought there was too much water under the bridge now with Ben Napper? Do you have the same opinion as Paddy Davitt on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's game over for Ben, and I think.
But what if he brings in some really good players in January? What if he brings in the right manager and we get instant results, Jack?
Yeah, I still think it's too far gone, and I think you go, Ben Napper's boss, Mark Atanasio, on BBC Radio Norfolk.
Yeah,
and I think everyone probably thought at that stage that Ben was going to be the first to go, because there was a few little comments, didn't out Ben Napper directly, but there were a few comments of like, I'm watching you. I didn't agree with that.
It felt like it could have been like
Nunes Sale PR disaster.
Yeah. Ben needs Liam needs Ben.
So the difficult situation is you need it's tougher to sack your sporting director, right? It's easier to sack your head coach, and that's always going to be the first in line. Mm. We need to get rid of Ben Napper. Do you trust him to get the next head coach right? Do you trust him to spend money correctly in January? And I think Paddy, and I was listening to their podcast, like the way that he got to eventually saying that too much water's gone under the bridge with Ben Napper is the squad's in a worse place than it was when he first came.
Yeah,
we're in a worse league position.
Yes,
we're losing far more money.
Yes, and games.
The fan sentiment is far worse. Like every single indicator. Is in a worse spot.
Yeah.
Failure, chronic failure.
Yeah, can't refute it. Can't argue against it. I don't. There is part of me that thinks, and it's the classic football adage of wins change everything, right? And they
do.
If I think Ben could. Look, he does have the opportunity here to get the right man in. They instantly get results, and I think that could save his reputation with large, with the large majority of Norwich City supporters.
But the problem is, Chris,
but I do side on the fence of you. I'm looking at it now. I'm going, holy Moses, the crowd, the fury, the feeling, the stuff that you see online. I think it's going to be so tough for Ben to come back from that. And
the problem we've got is like, what is the absolute best case from now until the end of the season? Maybe mid-table.
Oh, it's just it's just survival.
But like the exactly.
Just survive.
So the best is survival. Well, at the start of the season,
that's still a failure. Yeah.
He was saying if we're not top 6,
it's a good point. It's a good point.
And I look at this now, right? And we're in a cycle of chopping and changing managers. We've become the club we never wanted to become. Dean Smith, David Wagner, Hannes Softhorup. Liam Manning, right? In the last 4 years,
We are Watford now.
we've become just a very average, well, actually far worse than average Championship club that fires and highs, right? To break out of that, I think you need root and branch change. If you hire another manager under Ben Napper with this recruitment system, with this lack of accountability, whoever the next gaffer is, whether it's Gary O'Neill or Michael Carrick, whoever it is, we're probably going to be in a position again in 6 months' time where we're calling for their manager because they've not got the support and the adequate resource.
I've obviously, I was looking at this thinking, heck, how do you go about this? And then I saw, I think it was Wolves. Did Wolves?
They've sacked this.
They did both. They did both at the same time, didn't they? So it is possible to do it. But will Norfolk Holdings do that? Will Marcus Sanchez do that? I'm not 100% sure.
I think reading between the lines and just getting a feeling, Ben Napper will be gone. I don't know at what point, and I think the Atanasios will lean for a more gradual approach with how they go about this. I think their viewpoint now is this. Let's bring in a head coach. Let's survive.
Yes.
Let's use the summer as the opportunity to completely reset this board because they will have seen the bigger picture. I also get it from their point of like, it will be tough to make wholesale change during the season. So it's change head coach.
Yeah.
Back in January.
Botch it up.
Survive.
Yeah.
Get rid in the summer.
Then change it. Okay.
It might happen sooner.
Yeah. I like the theory of that. That sounds on paper doable, but I'm not so sure that will be possible with who's there internally. But
you're saying you don't think it's possible to survive?
No. I'm not. I know. I'm saying I don't think your plan of just getting rid of everyone in the summer. I'm not necessarily confident that will happen.
Right. I think they have.
I don't have any evidence. No, I don't have any evidence to that
because we've seen now ever since the departure of, let's be frank, Daniel Farker and Stuart Webber and that kind of real sweet spot we had and that
Ben Kensel,
Kieran Scott. That's another key point in Norwich City's kind of recent history. We've not bounced back.
But moving on to our third talking point, Jack, which is about these head coach candidates, right? There's almost like a subsection here, which is that what we've just spoken about, which is the sporting director position, Ben Napper, bringing in a new head coach. Do you think, Jack, that a head coach would look at Norwich now as, you said in the reaction video, it's a real attractive proposition, and it is. It is still. I'm with you. But also, a manager's not an idiot. They'll do their research and they'll look at Norwich now, which is an absolute bin fire, and go, whoosh, there's quite a lot going on there. Would they want to work with Ben? I don't know.
So I look at it this way. And you've gone on record and said that it's still an attractive job from a sporting director perspective. There are good people out there that...
from all perspectives, from coach perspectives as well.
But so there are good people that do want the job.
Yes.
And I look at it kind of this way as well. I think... Look, Liam Manning's reputation has been harmed from this. There's no doubt about that. But he got a salary increase on a 4-year deal and has been paid off.
Yes.
And
he was backed.
He had good backing in terms of finances.
Yeah.
And Norwich in the Championship are a big club.
And we bought his coaching staff as well.
We are, and I don't care, we are still an attractive proposition.
Yes,
and
I agree.
We could go out there and get, we could make decent choices. So...
But Jack, you're not answering my point.
What's the question?
The point is you've been talking about Ben Napper and his position and the sporting director position, but that's the person that's going to bring in the new head coach, right? So would a head coach, knowing what Ben Napper has done to Johannes and now to Liam, I don't know, let me just check myself. Maybe this is normal in football now. Maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill because sporting directors sack managers, right? So maybe I'm overdoing that.
I do get your point. I think
if I'm
a head coach coming in, I'm thinking like actually if things continue in the way they are, the things will be deflected towards Ben Napper. So I'm out of the limelight a little bit. I still think Norwich is a good job. Like if you're a head coach, you can't get any worse than we are at the moment. In like league position, you can't really because the team below us are on negative points.
True.
You literally can't get any worse at Carrow Road. If you draw, you've beaten Liam Manning.
And they will be back if they're not back to January.
Well, they will be.
That'll be the next protest.
They will be. It's a decent, not probably as good as we thought, but it's a decent squad on paper.
They have to be. They have to be back to January.
You know, I look at this and I think I still think it's attractive. I do think coming into a job, assuming it will be Ben Napper that hires the next manager, in the back of the head coach's mind going, he's probably not going to be my boss for too long. That's probably a slightly weird dynamic. Because, you know, people talk, everyone, you know, they're not thick, right? They'll know that Napper will be fired at some point. And I believe that.
I know, but I'm looking at you like you're saying that as if you know that, but you don't know that.
No,
there's no evidence of that.
I don't know that, but it will happen. They're not going to persist with Napper. They're not.
No, I'm just saying, but you're acting as if like you know that.
I'm not. I'm just going off gut.
Okay.
That's like saying, you know, I didn't know that Liam Manning was going to be fired, but it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, okay. I just don't have the
You can't and look.
No, it's just I don't have the evidence to know. I don't know this ownership well enough to know that they will get rid of Ben Napper.
They will.
Okay, all right.
They will. They have to.
Well, look, I look, everything you've said earlier is the red arrow, right? It's pointing down.
Yeah.
Every single metric is pointing down. So I get that. I'm just saying, like, there's some talk, like, you know, he could go next week.
No,
I don't think that's
disagree.
the case.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't think he's going. Well, look, who knows? Because I got to a stage where I was like, maybe Manning's here till Christmas.
And maybe it's not such a good thing that Ben would go immediately, because that is so much disruption, and maybe they just need to botch it up with a manager just to get through this season anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't. Do you know what? I don't know the answers anymore.
I don't think Ben's going anytime soon, but he will be gone at some stage.
Okay.
Let's get into the managers.
Yes. Come on then, Jack. Head coach candidates.
We're back in silly season.
Are here. I've got a list in front of us.
Where's Alan Kirby?
That was a classic, wasn't it? The only name that's not on this list, since I prepared it, to be transparent, because I prepared this in advance, is, of course, Daniel Farke, who is struggling at Leeds, and most Norwich fans would have him back. A lot of fans want him back. He's not in this odds list that I've prepared, but we should talk about him first, I think.
Daniel Farke.
Do you see a world in which Daniel Farke returns, Jack?
Yeah, potentially.
I mean, what a story.
I doubt it. I don't think. And the only reason I think that the whole Ben Kensel, Kieran Scott thing might not happen is, like, I don't know if. Look, if we come back to the point of, like, we still don't really know this ownership group too well. I would be surprised if they kind of go over paths that have already been walked before.
Okay.
Just a gut, don't know. Would I take Daniel Farke back? Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
Like, is he the man to get you out of a relegation scrap? Don't know. Based on Premier League experience, certainly not. Because
this is the thing
with Norwich and with Leeds.
Yeah.
Well, who knows what will happen with Leeds, but they're not looking good at the moment.
Do you think the thing? And by the way, this isn't just a Daniel Farke thing. I look at some of these gaffers, and I think, well, it sounds lovely, but we're not in that territory anymore. We're not in project manager territory anymore. And we can't afford to wait. We don't have the time. And we are going to get onto. There's some brilliant questions, but if we bring in a manager and it's like, oh yeah, he plays attacking football and he needs X, Y, Z players, well, that's all fun and games. But by the time it gets to the January window, we could be doomed.
See, this is the really tough thing. Is like,
I think you're going to have to botch it.
I'm almost leaning towards like a 6-month interim, but then who takes that?
Right. Anyway, let's get through these candidates. Here's a name I'll throw at you, Jack, which is put the cat amongst the pigeons. I don't think it's attainable. Brendan Rodgers.
No, not for me.
Yeah, what is? And you wouldn't have him anyway.
Look, I'm always
I'm quite up for a bit, Brendan.
I always struggle with these lists because
just answer the question.
I know because realistically, whoever we get in, like a player, I'm going to be excited about, even if it's not the right fit.
Okay.
Like Liam Manning, you can look back and go, probably with hindsight, not the right height. But I was buzzing, right?
Yeah, but don't do yourself down for that. And this is my message in the last podcast chat. whoever it is out of
right,
this
okay.
list or beyond this, we have to get behind them. Even if it's Neil Warnock.
There is a name on this list that does appeal to me.
Okay.
But it's not Brendan Rodgers.
Right, so come on then, start doing it like that.
Keep going through the names.
All right, okay. So Brendan Rodgers, you're saying I don't think that's possible anyway. But and by the way, Brendan Rodgers, is he a relegation survival coach?
No.
I think he's more of a project manager with loads of money, right? Maybe I'm wrong. And would he drop this low? I don't think so. Michael Carrick.
Well, Michael Carrick, Kieran Scott, Ben Kensel. I'm up for that. That wasn't the name that I was looking at, but if that golden triangle appears at Norwich City,
would Carrick take too much time to get going?
No,
has he got those qualities we spoke about before? The charisma, the character, the motor. Has he?
I think he
I don't know enough about him, right?
From what I saw of him at Borough, he was a man that could rally a fan base.
He's got a bit about that.
I think he has.
Really?
Yeah.
Middlesbrough fans, I don't know if you're watching, but let us know if that's the case.
I mean, but Borough fans might want him back.
Let me throw Russ at you. Russ Martin, Cafu.
I would love Russ to be Norwich manager one day. I think this would be a horrific time for him to come in. Off the back of being hounded out at Rangers, he is definitely a project manager.
Takes a bit of time,
I don't think he's one to, fire us out of the relegation zone.
Well, you say that. Kept Swansea up.
He did. I think it was a slightly different situation at Swansea. I think Russ needs a summer off to just recalibrate a little bit.
The thing is, I think on that, you speak about, we always bring up Dean Smith, didn't we? Just out of his beloved Aston Villa. Literally 48 hours later, probably, he was in at Norwich.
Look, maybe if Norwich survive and things change above the head coach this summer, maybe Russ could be the one. I think for this period, no.
Okay. I think, I don't know really. Gary O'Neill.
That's the one for me.
Ooh.
That's the one out of this list
you're
where
in the Gone Society.
Ticks the most boxes.
Interesting.
I saw someone say that if we do hire Gary O'Neill, the first question should be, what on earth were you doing at Stoke that night when we were in a decent position to survive in the Premier League?
Showing a bit of passion.
I think Gary O'Neill, he's got charisma. He's very technically astute. He communicates excellently. He's up for a dogfight. He can scrap. He can get you out of it, bit of danger.
Okay. I also like Gary O'Neill too, in terms of what he's about, but is he too defensive?
Don't care.
We're at that point.
Don't care.
Okay, fine. So,
and actually,
some people say football's not attacking.
Well, actually, I'll double down on this. Right?
Yeah, go on.
Not long term, but for this next 6 months,
defend for your lives.
Scrap it out. 1-0s, 0-0s. Don't care. We'd also don't have a left winger, so if you want kind of flamboyant attacking football,
it's a pipe dream.
Probably so. That argument at this stage, doesn't bother me.
Right, let's rip through the others quite quickly because there are loads. Michael Skubala.
No.
Any interest?
No.
Okay. Dave Chelina. Sorry, it's early in the morning.
Pete the Kit Man. I think all of those names. David Wagner's on there at 16-1.
What about Ralph Hasenhartel? Any interest in a bit of Ralph?
Yeah.
I wanted a bit of Ralph.
The
previous round of gaffers, I was up for a bit of Ralph.
I bet you were.
There was something about Ralph. I like his character.
I mean, you know that this list is absolute nonsense.
You think?
Eric Ten Hag,
Stevie G,
and David Wagner at 16-1.
Look, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Robbie Keane.
For me, well, there's two options for me. I think Gary O'Neill is a good option. I mean, let's also say, I'll swing it back to you.
Come on.
Would Gary O'Neill want the job? He's a former Premier League manager.
Well, I clocked in one of his interviews that he did with Sky recently. They asked him the question about why didn't he go for the Wolves job.
Right.
And he said it wasn't the right time as much as he respected the club and said all the right things and blah, blah, blah. But then he said he was waiting for the right opportunity because the next one is very important for him.
Are we the
right opportunity? Not sure. Can we offer Gary O'Neill long-term stability, especially when we've just said here, just botch it, park the bust, eke out results, just do what you've got to do to survive. is that, I don't know, maybe it is the right opportunity. Or maybe what Gary Neal is saying is, I'm just waiting for enough cash to be put on the table for me, maybe.
And the other thing I was thinking, like...
I think, I highly, highly suspect he was well in the frame when we went with Liam Manning. So it'll be interesting to see whether we do knock on the door, whether if we do knock on the door, he'd even answer the door anymore.
Does the doorbell still work?
Yeah, does the doorbell still... Is it one of the Ring doorbells that needs recharging?
Has he forgot to renew his subscription?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking, Chris, like, there's, and I've kind of alluded to it, like maybe it's a 6-month interim of just an expert at getting people out of relegation zones. Go on. So this is the thing I was thinking, the Mick McCarthy, Sam Allardyces of the world, right? No, they're too old. Like, they're not around. Like, they're not a thing anymore.
Well, what do you mean they're not a thing? Martin O'Neill's up at Celtic. He's doing a great job there.
But
and he's basically...
But what I'm saying is...
What is he, like 85 or something?
Like Roy Hodgson.
Sorry. I just need a moment. I actually just need a moment. I actually just need a moment. I've really held it together well, but I'm not sure I can do this anymore. I can't believe... I just need a moment. I just need a moment. I can't believe we're at this point on this blessed podcast where we are talking about Mick McCarthy, Sam Allardyce, Neil Warnock, Woy has just been mentioned. Martin O'Neill. I just can't.
But what I mean,
please, can we win some football matches, please?
Who's the Mick McCarthy equivalent on here? Everyone's sort of fancy, self-help managers now, aren't they?
Yeah. So maybe we do need a bit of.
What's Stephen McLaren up to?
Make passion.
Is he still Jamaica? Isn't
maybe this is the time for Alan Kirbishley, Jack, after all these years.
And also, let's see that the player manager return to.
Oh mate, I'm so not
to popularity.
I'm so not aboard that idea. That's so conference. How far have your standards slipped? The fact that you're talking about player manager, you've got this weird thing about Kenny being player manager. It's weird. Because I need you to know that's really weird. That's the kind of thing that like a Wickham fan would say.
Yeah, but
a Gillingham fan. Yeah, there you go. I've dug out Gillingham again.
Who are League 2, not League 1.
Yeah, sorry, League 2, not League 1.
We were being kind to Gillingham fans, and we had a few emails going.
Yeah, we were actually
respect us.
We were actually bigging you up.
But maybe we have to switch our mindset to thinking like that.
Fuck it hell.
Let's make.
I'm really.
Let's make the player manager role popular again.
Kenny
McLean making changes as he's playing left back.
Honestly, mate, no.
We could do worse than that.
No, behave yourself. That's a yellow card from you.
My behaviours weren't good enough.
Official yellow card. Yeah, behaviours. Should we go on to some questions, Jack?
No, we should. Dan Emery.
Come on. What's he saying?
He's saying, my best friend is Shane... No. He's saying, statement. Dan, love you, mate. We need to go back to our roots and hire a manager who wants to play exciting football with wingers and creative players. Going for another Manning-type pragmatist would only set us further back.
Right, so back to you on this, Dan, is the challenge that you're in is we could go for a gaffer that wants to play attacking football, right? But can they play attacking football in the immediate term? Because we need immediate results now. 4 points adrift. Possibly short-term results as well as immediate term. We haven't got wingers. The midfield, blimey O'Reilly. Sargent's not scored in a month of Sundays.
So can I quickly...
Can we realistically sign a manager to play attacking football and get instant results?
I'm just going to quickly interject because I agree. But
I don't know.
There's a point. Once again, this conversation comes back to bed now.
Okay.
We've spent £70 million and you're coming out with... And I agree, we don't have wingers and we don't have a capable midfield.
Yeah.
Then
well, to be fair, actually, to be fair, we do have wingers. We have Tony Springett.
Yes.
So, Jack... Are you aboard the pragmatist patrol,
we're in a really
attacking football?
We're in a really strange period of time. I wouldn't call Liam Manning a pragmatist because to be a pragmatist you have to have all the elements, and mentally they were completely shot, and he has to take responsibility for that.
Correct.
So you can be a pragmatist if you grind results out, but when you lose 8 consecutive games at Carrow Road, I'm not having you down as a pragmatist. So there are real pragmatists out there, and I'm saying pragmatist so much, I'm not sure if the word pragmatist is even a word anymore. But
Jack, exciting creative football or pragmatism?
Pragmatism. I want to grind it out from here on in.
You just want an ugly win at all costs,
or a 0-0.
What I would fire back to the question here is, I'm not sure we're in the position to attract a manager that actually wants to play attacking football now.
I don't think we have the time.
Are we in the Sam Allardyce, Neil Warnock zone? Probably. Look where we are on the table.
And it's also beyond. It's beyond the football point, right? We don't have the time in order to implement a real nice style. We are 4 points adrift. We play Oxford on the Tuesday night. At that point, we could be 10 points adrift.
I want to say this straight away, right? You know, styles, philosophies, processes. Remember this word that we put into the bin this season? Transition.
Oh, yellow card.
Oh, sorry.
You said it.
But I'm saying it to make a point. So let me off. Okay. Maybe just give me a warning there.
Okay,
don't do it again.
Fine. Okay.
The point is, I'm having to put them in the bin because I'm having to put them in the bin.
Behaviours in there.
But behaviours, processes, trust the process, bin. And the reason why, Jack, is I don't think we got the time. I think we need a manager that's as we've said on our reaction video, that's going to be more motivation, charisma, fight, desire, passion, and that will turn off the football Twitter nerds. I know the people that get themselves off. Sorry, I should have said that. Forgive me. I'm not sure we're gonna have to cut that. Are we gonna cut that?
No.
Okay.
We never cut anything. Just gonna throw it.
Yeah, the people that really enjoy XG. I saw a name. That's obviously going to turn them off.
I saw a name mentioned by quite a few people during our our live stream and from my video last night. Not on that short list of managers.
Yep.
Has recently got back into management.
Yeah.
Ian Culverhouse. Up for a bit of that?
Jesus Christ, Jack.
Cully?
Mate.
Done a great job at King's Lynn. And was brilliant here.
I'm really, really concerned that you're about to say Neil Adams for interim.
Culverhouse,
and honestly, I might throw a right swinger at you.
He could potentially find something in this group.
What about Nick Stanley?
No, I'm thinking like Culverhouse interim, Kenny McLean player manager to help out.
You've got to stop that. Right. I'm so close to sending you off now. So close.
Joe says, question, would you take someone like Neil Warnock or Ian Coulter, no, Big Sam, until the end of the season to guide us to mid-table, then go into the next season with a new manager / set of executives, even if that meant pretty awful football until then? Joe, yes, I would.
Is that where you're at?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that possibly is where I'm at as well, Joe. Like, I would obviously love for a manager with an attacking philosophy to come in. If they get instant results, that's the absolute jackpot. But I can't sit here and go, yeah, that's going to instantly work now. We don't have the luxury of time. So I think Joe, you've got us in a corner, and you've got us, because I think we're both in agreement, Jack, that we are in this territory now of, we're not saying, it's Warnock or Big Sam, although wouldn't that be a laugh? Maybe.
It would be something.
It would be something, wouldn't it? We need to survive. So, yes, maybe if that guarantees survival, yes.
Just to flip it completely the other way, because the name is kind of in my head at the moment a little bit. Do you think it will get really interesting if Daniel Farke is sacked by Leeds? Is there a world where we go back to Farke?
Well, I think Norwich. I think a lot of Norwich fans would want it. I do. But the question is, would he?
Yeah.
Because he's been there, done that, and got the T-shirt.
And it's not going to get better than that.
Many older supporters will remember Mike Walker too. Which I wasn't there then, but I've been reliably informed about that. When a manager comes back for the second time, it doesn't work. would his ego allow him to go back down to the Championship after he's been there again? Again, don't know. Great coach at Championship level. You cannot deny that. And now we are in this position of that's all that matters. You can't be talking about the Premier League anymore. That's pie in the sky stuff, which is why that annual summary piece just made it even worse. That those words with the accounts where we thought, what? Become an established Premier League club? What? So, again, would, like, as much as Farke says he wants to cut, he and I do believe him. He really enjoyed his time. He loves the club, etc. Would he want to be in a relegation dogfight when he's been in the Premier League with Leeds? I don't know.
Well, and also
won the league 3 times now, isn't he?
You're not going to get better than his time at Norwich last time. You know, the way that we won it. Sorry, I just had to. I think that's put it to bed. I don't think he's coming back. But
so Leeds have given him 101 million for the Prem in this window.
Wow.
Yeah, 101 million. Would Norwich give him 101 million?
Well, probably, because we've given Ben Napper 72.
Yeah,
and that's gone well. Scott says, question.
It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, is it? It might be a great story. He is a brilliant coach.
It would be interesting.
At Championship level.
Scott says, now Manning has gone, will Jacob Wright be the creative player we need? It's no surprise Sargent's form has dropped once Wright was frozen out. And corner threats dropped off as well. That's a great point on corners, because if the league table was based on corners taken, I think we'd be top. So how many? Well, I'll tell you how many corners we had at the weekend. I'll tell you, because I know you all want to know.
Go on then, Jack.
Oh, we only had 6. It's not that many at all, is it? Felt like we had about 15.
Right, so back to the question, Jack. Which players do you think will thrive now that Manning has departed? Obviously, I'll throw Jacob Wright at you straight away.
And I'll bat back with Harry Darling.
Okay. And I'll bat back to you, Josh Sargent.
And I'll hit a slice cut back to you with Matthias Chris-Gorham.
And I'll bash you over the head with Pell Matson.
Well, I think what might happen is a rally where we name the whole team.
Yeah.
I think, in terms of the ones that haven't been featured,
Jacob Wright, he's the headline, isn't he?
He is the headline.
Especially when you need someone to be able to close down spaces, right? That's not what this midfield is doing well at the moment at all, right? Not trucking back, not stopping shots, not progressing the ball in midfield, because Kenny's in my opinion, Kenny is still the only midfielder that I can definitively say does that with excellence.
I agree.
And we're playing him left back at the moment, by the way. But look, it's a really interesting, well-raised question, Scott. I think that we are now going to see some players come out from the ashes within this squad and make a real impact this season. But actually, how brilliant is it going to be to see Josh Sargent scoring again? Because I've forgotten what it feels like.
Well, let's hope we do, because it's not a guarantee that the next head coach turns this round.
No.
We are just assuming. I think it's a fair assumption, but we are assuming.
Well, they are going to pick up results.
Well, it can't get worse.
Well, obviously,
it can't get worse. So yes, it will get better at some stage. I think Jacob Wright is the key one. I looked at that, and I actually think it's a slightly unfair. It's unfair to judge these players too much just because of we don't have to go over what's gone on. But I looked at that midfield pairing of Pell Matson and Mirko Topic. You may not know me yet. I still don't know you, Mirko, because you don't do anything, right? He's been horrendous, and I'm just going to put it out there. And I think there is a player.
In the last couple of games.
Let me just have a bit of anger, right? Because I've been quite composed this podcast. He's been shit so far, and actually so is Matson. Right, and I
disagree with that. Okay, I massively disagree with that.
Fine. I don't.
He's not been. Matson's not been shit. He's had a disappointing couple of games.
He has,
but he's not been shit. No, you don't know the meaning of shit. If you think that's shit, you don't know the meaning of shit.
Chris.
Mate, he's not been
We
shit.
are 23rd in the division.
Yes,
we are
I know,
4
but
points
I
adrift.
don't know
We
why
cannot beat Leicester. We cannot beat Sheffield Wednesday. We cannot beat Bristol City.
right, okay.
We cannot beat Hull. We cannot beat Swansea. We cannot beat West Brom. We cannot beat Wrexham. He is the midfielder in that team.
We will agree to disagree on Maatsen. I think that Mirko has had a disappointing season considering the money we paid him for. Will he be a good player under a new coach? Absolutely he will.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying he has been shit, not he is shit.
Okay.
Form is temporary, class is permanent. Maatsen's
The
class.
reason why I brought up the name earlier, Leroy Lita, is because Matt Gregory, Greg's 1984, says, think we should be appointing the professional phase development coach from Sunderland as the new manager. Hashtag the streets will never forget. Leroy Lita.
Is that where he is?
Well, Sunderland are doing well, aren't they?
Leroy, what a ledge, by the way.
Leroy, do you know what?
What a ledge.
Oh, that's what I meant. Do you know what? Those were the days. Those were the days of football. Those were the days of football where, like,
anything was possible.
You know, you had like all of these like Rastafarian reggae tunes on FIFA Street, and like you could have a kickabout on the streets, and you could say, "Oh, Leroy Lita," and sort of knee slide on the curb, and you know, that's what football's about. Where has football gone now? Where people are like XG or XGA. It's shit. No one cares about your data, your pointless data. See your laptop, put your laptop away, and get out on the streets and play Kirby.
Yeah, but the problem...
Get out on the streets and play Red Arse. Get out on the streets, get some fresh air, and remember what football is all about. Passion, fight, belief, desire, teamwork, camaraderie, not laptops. Leroy Lita that is the epitome. That is the type of player. That is the type of player. Players with personality. If you go up to, if you're 1-to-1 with Leroy Lita, he's not just shoulder barging you, he's left hooking you. Where has that gone?
Do you think...
Everyone's so scared all the time.
Do you think there's sort of 7-year-olds out on the streets playing and screaming, "You're a sex!" And that's right. Oh no, I've just pulled up on my hammy. I'm out for another 6 months.
Sadly not.
Spring it! Slamare! just 9-year-olds in the park. Right? You know, the reason this society is so screwed is because the 12-year-olds of this modern age have been playing down the park with their friends and having to scream Van Hooydonk.
Spring.
You know, when I was in the park as a kid, I was screaming Holt, Martin,
yes,
you know, Jackson,
yes,
trying to create the goals against
Do you get my
Scunthorpe.
point?
Now, if you're a 9-year-old, you're down the park trying to do an inverted run as Mate, you're a sedge.
Now you're trying to be like, oh, I've created a chance. XG, XGA.
Yeah.
Do you get my point,
Yeah,
Jack?
no, I get it.
Where has football gone?
The game's gone.
Oh, just fucking love Leroy Lita. Sorry, that's a big tangent. Statement. Arthur Kemp says, we need... Hang on, sorry. Oh, God. Arthur Kemp's statement. This football club is breaking me. What you are witnessing is the breaking of two
I
blokes.
think we need to go outside and touch them.
Arthur Kemp's statement. We need someone who reeks of passion and can rally a group. We must back whoever it is now. We are in survival mode. Arthur Kemp. I couldn't have put it better myself. We are, it is, right, and here's the hashtag of the pod, by the way. Okay? Hashtag the great escape.
Great.
Hashtag the great escape. No, because we need to instill this mindset amongst the fans now. It's all about creating the great escape, getting out of the dregs of this league. Yeah? We need to climb. We need to create the great escape. Do you get it?
Yeah, I'm just still in slight kind of dismissal that we're in this position.
I know, Jack, but if we
But
don't,
we
but
are.
Arthur's
No, I
point
agree, we are.
is we must back whoever it is now and get in survival mode. I totally agree with Arthur.
Mosey says, Rave, Chris Garden and McCarm are hugely promising prospects, and once Sarge is firing on all cylinders, we have the great opportunity to climb back up the table.
So I was still thinking about your Springett line, sorry. Just repeat that.
Chris Garden and McCarmer agreed. Good. I like McCarmer a lot, and I think we need more McCarmers.
Pause. Jov Mac is my player of the season so far. And I know it's been a shit season, but Jov and McCarmer, again, just physicality. You know, do you know what? Yeah, good point. I spoke about Leroy Lita earlier. He's got a bit of that. Strong, pace, a bit of something about him. You know, laughing at the ref when he just used his shoulder to win the ball back. You know, laughing. Good. Honestly, I love Jov McCarmer.
I agree.
I love Big Mac. What a brilliant player he is. And doesn't that just show, Jack, again, it feeds into this whole thing about signing players from the English leagues?
Well, it's not even that. It's just players that can you know, get in and amongst it and have a bit of it. And, you know, I think there's a risk with Jov McCarmer that he's like the big guy up front that puts himself about. He's really technically good as well.
Matt Johnson, should Neil Adams be removed as well as Napa and Webber? What even is Neil Adams' job role?
Well, this is the thing. I don't know, Matt. And some people go, oh, you're being a bit harsh on Neil Adams. What's he done? No. That's the point. What has he done? Not a single person can tell me what he does. I read the bit in the annual statement accounts. Still none the wiser.
Yeah.
And like Neil, you know, he's kind of like your nice uncle that invites you around for Sunday lunch, right? And cooks you a nice dinner and you have a nice chat about the good old days. He's not the man to sit on, you know...
Drive us forwards?
No.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on it, to be honest with you, but that probably says a lot. Twitchy Terry's disagreeing with you, Jack.
Good.
Statement, it can't be O'Neill. We need a project, passion and exciting football if we are to have any chance of galvanising this club into an upward movement.
No, I agree.
So he doesn't want... What? You agree?
Well, no, I agree with part of it. I think... what a palaver. Of course, like... So this is my thinking. I don't think we can start a brand new project and get it right immediately. So I'm saying I think we need 6 months of pure grind survival mode.
6 months of pure passion.
Pure passion, just do whatever it takes to stay in the league.
Yeah.
Use the summer as the root and branch change.
Yeah.
Clear it all out, and I mean all out, and start again.
Right.
And that is the point that maybe you bring a Russ Martin or a Daniel Farker in, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
I don't
project
think
manager, yeah.
That is wise at this point.
A project manager.
I don't think it's wise. No.
So you're disagreeing with Twitchy Terry's statement, disagreeing with your opinion about O'Neill.
I'm not disagreeing with anyone because I think all the
You want Gary O'Neill.
I'm not.
You do. You said it earlier.
You're twisting my words. I'm saying Gary O'Neill was the best on that list. I'm also saying maybe a Kenny McLean player manager. Or an Ian Culverhouse might not be the worst shout.
For God's sake. And by the way, what I should say at this point is, and I did see a few of the comments on the videos of, I think someone said something like, why is Chris obsessed with Michael Carrick? I haven't watched, I promise you this, right? I've not watched a single minute of Michael Carrick's football.
Yeah, you have against Norwich.
I don't have a Scooby-Doo. I don't have a Scooby-Doo about him, right? All I'm just saying is, I'm talking about the names that have been thrown out there, right? I'm not aligned pushing anyone. I'm just talking about the names that are out there.
Look, Michael Carrick would be awesome.
Lee Jones says statement. It's just one of those. That will be what Manning gets remembered for.
Behaviours and it's just one of those.
It's one of those.
Yeah, it's just one of those.
It's one of those.
I always revert to fighting.
That's one of those. Behaviours. Craig says, does the soccer bot have the right behaviours?
Is the soccer bot still going?
I think I found the solution. The soccer bot needs turning off and on again.
Soccer bot player manager.
Right.
Let's
finish this podcast.
Look, we'll...
Oh my God, I've just seen... Hang on, sorry, one more. Michael Cowlishaw, by the way, name of the podcast. Let's see Michael's bio. In fact, no, I can't read that because it's political. But respect your opinions, of course, Michael. My case for Steve Bruce.
Ooh, Brucey.
Steve Bruce, baby.
Steve
That'd be
Bruce,
so, wouldn't it? Short-term firefighter until the end of the season. Former player, knows the league, 4 championship promotions on his record, turned Blackpool around. God, you're convincing me, Michael. Comes back for one last job to save his old club. There is a
Bruce. Hello. Brucey. Oh, Brucey bonus.
Yeah, I tell you what he would do. I tell you one thing. Guarantee you, Big Mark is going to offer the new gaffer a big old Brucey bonus for survivors. Can you?
Freedom of the city.
Just a moment, right?
Steve Bruce.
Just a moment. How have we gone from being in the Premier League and moaning at Houghton Ball, right, to Steve Bruce, you know what I mean? In the relegation zone of the Championship.
But the world, society, trends go in circles, right?
Yeah.
We are quickly getting back to the point where Bruce Ball is sexy again. All right. Bruce Ball, maybe that is not the worst shout in the world. Look,
just a vision to finish. Imagine if Tony Springett scores the winner to keep us up.
He's good around the place.
That would be epic. Every time Tony Springett warms up, I always back you, Tony. And I sing, there's only one Tony Springett. And I'm proud of that.
Youth. Right. What like...
Look, right. Okay, so here's what's happening, folks. We've done a podcast today. We've rambled. We hope that you've enjoyed the show. Thanks for your support. Next week, we're not going to do the podcast at the usual time.
Well, we might do. But what we're going to do is we're going to try and time it to talk about the new Norwich City head coach, which will be an exciting podcast. Assuming that we've got a new head coach by then.
Who's that going to be? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to use the hashtag GreatEscape. Share it on X. What you need to do is quote, retweet, all that stuff. The original launch post, right, with hashtag The Great Escape. Let us know what you think of the podcast. I'll share all of them as a thanks for your support.
Yeah, look, there'll be loads of content. Just quickly, do you think there'll be a new head coach appointment this week?
No.
You think it'll be next week?
I'll be surprised if Norwich City Football Club moves that fast.
Is there a world where
prove me wrong, please.
Our head coach against Birmingham is Ryan Gary?
If that is the case, you know there's big problems. Because that shows that coaches aren't touching us with the barge pole. Because I understand at this stage, sorry to use that phrase, it's what you're meant to say. I understand at this stage that they definitely want the new head coach in time for that game.
Okay. In that case, we should be back next week. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.